Folks, you're listening to The Perspective tonight. My name is Mike Sherbino. I'm going to be back after a very short break. We have singer-songwriter Martin Barret with us. We're going to hear one of his new songs. It's going to be incredible. Great way to wrap up the program. I know you've loved the program tonight, but stay tuned. There's still more to come. We'll be right back. Hey, we're glad you're back with us tonight, and we got a special feature to wrap up the evening. I know that's just been an amazing conversation with Vianne and Tammy. Oh man, how do you do that? And how do you carry on from there? And one of the things that can change and give you encouragement is music. And I know everybody loves music. Many years ago, when I was pastoring my first church, there was a young guy who, and that's all relative now, he started to come to the church. He was at the local high school, and I remember going up to the high school. This was in Toronto, and I was preaching outdoors, and he would play his guitar and sing. And he was a bit of a folk star even then. All the girls certainly loved to hear him sing and play and all that good stuff. And he was amazing, and I've never forgotten that. And for whatever reasons, we just got disconnected for years. And then I stumbled across Martin Barret again, and Martin's with us tonight. Martin, thanks for coming on the program. So glad to have you.
Hey, Mike. Nice to hear your voice again.
Yeah, and you sound still the same, even though you're 500 years older. So that's all good. I mean, you're sounding good, Martin.
Oh, you too.
I think the last time I saw you, you were about 19 or 20, and that's got to be 40 years ago.
Yeah, it's close to that. I think I might have seen you when I was around 23, actually, but we won't get into that.
Okay. Well, that's good. Martin, the life of the songwriter and the singer, ups and downs. Talk to me about that.
Well, in 1987, I had been doing Christian music for a while. 14 years of age, picked up a guitar, and after giving my life to the Lord at age 9. That's where I met you, actually, I think sometime around there at Leaside Bible Chapel. And at 14, started playing guitar. 15, started playing a Young Street Mission, which is a street mission downtown Toronto. And from there, gospel music spread. The news of my gospel performances spread, churches, youth groups, and I was asked to play here and there. And by 1987, I was able to release a 9-song album with all my songs and that I'd been performing. And everything was going great. But you say the ups and downs of being a musician, being a human being, is that sometimes when you're following the Lord, you think everything's going to be great. And maybe you're under the illusion that because you're following the Lord, life is just going to be roses, sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. And just after that album release, my girlfriend, who I thought I was going to marry, dumped me. And spiritually, it ruined me. And I saw it do that to a lot of people at that age. And so for years after that, I guess I sailed along as a prodigal. And so music became pop music, no longer gospel music. God had hurt my feelings. I was so hurt by God that I thought, I'm never going to play for him again. But God had different ideas, because when God wants you, he calls you back and you listen. And so in the year 2003, my wife, Nancy, well, we married in 2004, but my then girlfriend Nancy and I were very broken people together, both from broken marriages and broken lives. And God got a hold of us like, oh my goodness, the stories we could tell you. And God brought us back and brought my love for him and the music for him back. And then in 2007, we started doing music for him through a church. And it was a little bit of worship leading, a little bit of songwriting, and it was in that year that the songs began to take shape for this album that has just been released in June of this year, 13 songs. And it literally took about 17 years for all those songs to come together on this album, which really are emblematic of both my journey and Nancy's journey in the Lord. how it comes from, as your last guest was saying, from a place of terrible brokenness that God can work through, and a place of personal pain as well, and yet the joy that can come from the music and the message in the music about Jesus is incomparable. You just know it's God
Fantastic.
laying that on your heart. Yeah.
You know, Martin, as you're talking about this, we're going to jump to one of your songs, and I'm going to have you back on. I'm going to start playing some of your songs on our show because they're just amazing. So I'm making that commitment, and I just want our listeners to be able to enjoy it. How do they find you, Martin, if they want to look for you on the web? What's your handle?
Well, Martin Barret Media. Now, that's Martin Barret with one T, not in the name Martin, but in the name Barret, Barret. And so Martin Barret Media on YouTube and on Facebook, that's the best place. And then all the links to the streamable album are all located there. Bandcamp, all of that, Spotify. That would be the best way.
This is good. Well, we're going to listen to a song called Only Thing I Need. It's about hanging in there when the going gets tough. Folks, you're listening to Martin Barret tonight. Enjoy this music here on The Perspective.
On that day, how sweet will be the sound on that day of angels all around. I am sanctified by grace for his name's sake, and I shall see his glory on that day. On that day, in his presence I will stand on that day. In the promised land I was predestined in love to give glory to the Son, and I shall be raised up on that day. On that day, on that day, I shall see the great I am, Son of God, Son of Man. I shall see him in glory on that day. On that day, his wonder he'll display on that day. Every tongue will say that Christ is Lord of all, and to our knees will fall. Oh, how we will marvel on that day. On that day, on that day, we shall see him as he is, light of heaven, King of kings. We shall see him in glory on that day. To the Lamb be blessing, honor, and power. Let's display his glory now. On that day, how sweet will be the sound on that day of angels all around. We are sanctified by grace for his name's sake, and we shall see him in glory on that day. Oh, how we will marvel on that day as we are raised up on that day.
Folks, you've been listening to Martin Barret singing an incredibly beautiful song on the day. Martin, are you still with us? I hope we didn't lose you.
No, I'm right here.
Oh man, that was just so powerful and moving. I'm thinking, man, I'm booking you in to come to our church to sing, and I can hardly wait for a couple of weeks from now. You're going to come on the television program, and we're going to put a face with the voice.
Oh wow!
Thank you for coming on tonight, and once again, tell people how they can find where they can listen to your music. Just give us that website again.
Well, but first, Mike, thanks for being in my life. You've always been a fixture in it in a lot of ways, and I've always looked back, and even through my broken time, I see your face, and it reminded me of the things that I needed to be and to admire. So the website is, and anywhere on YouTube, if you look for Martin Barret Media, that's Barret with one T, B-A-R-R-E-T, Martin Barret Media, and on Facebook, you can find all the links you need to the music and the album through there.
So fantastic. People, I want to thank you for being with us tonight. And here on The Perspective, I just hope that in some way we've encouraged you. You know, if you want to write into The Perspective, just write prayer@theperspective.tv. And if you do that, we'll mail out to you our new Advent book. It's a devotional that takes you all the way through the month of December. Actually, we just finished it 2 days ago. It's off to the printers, and in a very short time, probably hopefully about 7 or 8 days, it'll be back. And every month we do a devotional book to help you in your journey with Jesus. So you can write me, prayer@theperspective.tv. I need your name and your address, and we'll mail that book out to you to help you. And if at any time, as you ponder what's been shared tonight through Vienne and Tammy, you're saying, is there hope? Well, yes, there is hope. And as you listen to what Martin was sharing so succinctly in just a few moments, he was saying, you know, he wandered away, but how God brought him back. And God is in the business of bringing people back home. I hope you know how much you're loved by him. We can never outrun him. And so tonight, wherever you are, can I invite you just to open up your heart and say, Lord, will you take me back? I want to walk with you. I want to be in your presence. And as Martin sang about on that day, today can be your day right now, right here. You're listening to The Perspective. You can follow us at theperspective.tv, theperspective.tv. We have lots of literature that we can send to help you in your journey called life. And more than anything else, I want to remind you that you are loved by God, that he cares for you, and that his plans are greater than you could ever imagine. Thanks for listening. Have a fantastic weekend.